Still a great Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us for the 8:05 post show. We've set the quarterfinals for the men and women on the Challenger Series. Such an important tour on the World Surf League as we try to work out the top 10 and top 5 women that'll join the championship tour next season in 2024. Thanks for being with us. Such a special event here at the south side of Huntington Pier. Everyone wants to win the U.S. Open, and we're getting close as we head into finals weekend. Joe Turpel with Rosie Hodge and Peter Mel. I woke up this morning, Rosie. I was a little nervous when I saw the waves, but gosh, I saw some of my favorite heats of the week. Some really great moments this morning.
Definitely. I mean, and we've got our quarterfinals set, right? You get to that round of 16 and chatting to some of the competitors. This is a really tricky round to try and decipher and break through to get to those quarterfinals. I don't know what roadblocks some of the athletes, but some of them broke through today. And yeah, it was amazing to watch today's action.
Great for some support crews as well, Pete. Yesterday was a tough day for the Channel Islands crew. They lost a lot of their crew going down in the conditions at Huntington Pier. Today, they're 4 for 4. They're really happy, celebrating, moving on to Saturday.
Different day, yeah, and that's what things happen. You know, Brent Power, the team manager over there, and Britt Merrick. I guess Britt Merrick coming in today probably was the good luck charm. So he's got to come to every day in order for his team to do well. Everyone wants to perform in front of their shaper, right?
Yeah.
The CEO.
Best beard in the business, I think.
Yeah, you just trimmed it. You saw it was nice and groomed.
That might have been the difference.
Yeah, it could have been.
As we have the winner of the last heat, Ariane is with AJ on the glass.
Yeah, that was a really tricky heat to get through. You had to wait all day, and then the conditions just felt like you had to grind out those scores. What did you see on the waves when you saw how they were shaping up for you? What did you want to do?
Yeah, like it's been a super tough heat. Last heat of the day, always they are hard, but more when there is no waves. So yeah, I just tried to not to catch everything because they were really bad waves. So we kind of selected, but also start quick. And I think the key has been that being the first to change, and after try to be on top of Sarah and make the right decision, but it was really tough heat, and Sarah is a super good surfer, really good friend. She is a warrior too, and yeah, wasn't the best condition for that beautiful battle between us.
It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be a win, which is what you were able to do on to your first quarterfinals of this Challenger Series season. You battled through so much to get to this point. How much confidence are you carrying forward into the next round?
Yeah, I'm super happy to get it made into the quarterfinals. It's been a really good year, even if I didn't get the result that I wanted. I have been feeling confident, and this is just making me extra more confidence. And yeah, after the all hard work I have been putting with my coach Felipe since the beginning of the year, and my sports psychologist Maria, like it's just it's the result, but we have been working before a lot. Even the result that weren't showing up.
Well, congratulations, all that hard work paying off. ¿Quieres enviar un mensaje para tu familia y amigos?
Sí. Muchas gracias a todos los que me estáis viendo, sois muchos los que me estáis apoyando y realmente se siente este apoyo aquí. Eskerrik asko, etxean zaudeten guztioi hor mezua bidaltzen, niretzako garrantzitsua da eta indarra ematen dit aurrera jarraitzeko, así que nada, mañana por más.
Mañana, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
Back to you.
Thanks so much, AJ. Love hearing a Terrace Asco. Keeping that Basque Country spirit is beautiful. San Sebastian, one of the greatest cities in the world, and they're on a roll into the quarterfinals. That was a big heat, Rosie. I mean, Sarah Baum just came off a wild card performance into the quarters at Jeffreys Bay. Thought she might feed off that momentum, but ends up going down in the round of 16.
Yeah, that was a tough round to fall out of. She would have noted that this would have been a golden opportunity for her. A lot of people on the leaderboard falling out in the same round. So if she had snuck through into the quarterfinals, she would have created some space and climbed up a couple numbers. So unfortunately for Sarah, she went down to Ochoa, and well done to Ochoa.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking about the veterans of the tour, we saw them really establish themselves today, and obviously experience paying off in key moments. Sally Fitzgibbons, Pete, is really leading the charge with a good shot to be right back on the championship tour.
Well, and thinking of the trending things that are happening is all the top 10 surfers have been bowing out in this event, and she's the one who hasn't. So ultimately, that's just going to be a great news for her, being that she's into this quarterfinals. But she understands this probably more than anyone. Her job's not done yet. It really needs to get into that semifinals. When you think about semifinals, that's 4 surfers left. Only 5 qualify, right? So that's a true result. Quarterfinals isn't enough. And if she wants to be able to take that win and guarantee a spot into the championship tour, the seed's going to be good if you take the win here on the Challenger Series. So it's important to her, and I know she knows that.
Teresa Bonvillain ended up going down, and it was really just Sally Fitzgibbons dominating from start to finish. There were some key turns that looked great from Bonvillain. Got into that 5 range, but Sally built to a 717. That was actually on her backhand, really explosive with a big 2-turn combination that's taken her into the quarterfinals. She hasn't missed a quarterfinal this year, and that's kind of a reminder of how consistent Sally has always been. Even on the CT, she had a record for 45 quarterfinals in a row, right in that range. She's kind of feeling that consistency this year on the Challenger Series. As we bring up the finals day bracket, Rosie, what's standing out to you?
Ooh, Sawyer Lindblad today was so impressive, coming up against another informed surfer, Luana Silva. All of these quarterfinals are amazing. I mean, a lot of people having their breakout performance. Leilani McGonigal, Daniela Rosas. So yeah, there's a lot of surfers in the mix that are kind of new to this quarterfinal matchup.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The glaring moment is that there's some youngsters, there's also some veterans. It feels like to me, we had mentioned yesterday, like, who are the favorites in this draw. I like the top half of the draw for Sawyer, and I like the bottom half for Sally.
Looking forward to that. We're going to break those up leading to finals Sunday. So we'll probably see all those quarters tomorrow and then build into the finals on Sunday as we get closer to crowning our champions. On the men's side, you always want to look at past champs and local heroes. Kanoa Igarashi has been sharp as he chases a 3rd U.S. Open title this year, Rosie.
He looks so comfortable, too. I mean, the guy, he comes out, we interview him on the glass. He doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat at all. But he says that he's found it very challenging coming up against this new crop and generation of surfers. So it's good to see that he feels like he's being tested in a jersey at the US Open, but he did perform to the 2nd highest heat total in the round of 16.
Yeah, we saw David Silva put himself in position with a cool 2-turn combo. Actually was the highest score of the heat and just couldn't really back it up, Pete.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He felt like he got a wave at the very end here where he did put it together. It was just too small, and Kanoa too strong. Of course, they started the heat kind of on the south end, a little different strategy from Kanoa to kind of move away, but David was right on his tail. Ultimately, it turned out where the consistency and the wave choice from Kanoa got the win. And looking at this quarterfinal bracket, man, there's definitely some names there that have been scratching at the door to get to that championship tour. And with the women, it's semifinals. And with the men, you got top 10. There's 8 surfers left. So this is a great result for all of these surfers. But ultimately, when you start thinking about round by round and going into winning, how much that can get you a little bit of breathing room, all of these surfers in this quarterfinals want to take that win.
Jake Marshall versus Eli Hanneman, a cool one there, both being coached by Chris Gallagher. So they've been sparring together without anyone watching. But now it's going to be for the world to enjoy in quarter 3. Crosby wants to move into the top 10. He's got Mateus Herdy, who's fired up. And the cool part about quarter 4 is George Pittar from Manly Beach. He was actually hoping he'd get a heat with Kanoa. I mean, not everybody wants to take on the guy who's got maybe the best track record of this event, but that's saying something about George and who he wants to compete against this year.
And I asked Kanoa the question, what do you think of the matchup with George, and have you seen him surf before? And he just said the first time that he'd actually seen him was the heat previous to his, just watching the conditions. So that's an interesting one, and I think George had the highest heat total of that round. He's done the best surfing. When you look at it, he's won 4 heats. So he's got perfect record in this event so far. That's a really good matchup.
Yeah, great to see George in this position. I think we might talk about him a lot, especially on this 805 post show, which brings up the Cup Noodles Wave of the Day. A special surfer, great regular footer, real quick in transition. He actually didn't know if this was going to be a big score. He's got more to give, but he turned in an 8.5 for the 2nd time in this contest.
Yep, he's been the most informed surfer. I mean, we got to see him. He's, like you had mentioned, winning every one of his heats. He's surfed in 4 heats. He started from the round of 80, which is the very first round of this event. So the man has been on point. He's been in touch with his equipment, and that shows. I mean, when you've got kind of that magic board, pretty much can't do anything wrong, and so far he hasn't.
He went to talk to Brent Power from Channel Islands, and he's like, was that an 8.5? I felt I bogged a little bit. And there's actually, it's kind of cool. He's like, wait, you think you did? It looked incredible. good signs for George.
Yeah.
He knows he's got more to show heading into the finals weekend.
Yeah, that was such a fun take. Even chatting to him on the glass, he was like, I just got lucky. Jaddy was doing airs, and I was like, you didn't get lucky. You absolutely ripped. You, like, shut that one down.
Yeah.
But, yeah, really cool to see these new faces and the new crop of talent coming through.
Let's talk surf,
Sure.
wave-wise.
Haven't we been talking all day, sir?
No, well, I mean, I want to know how it's going to be
Oh,
the
okay.
next couple of days.
I
Thanks
want-
to our partners at Surfline. Pete, what do we got?
Yeah, thumbs up. I think today was a bit of a rough one, you know, and I think that we still have this swell that's just been circulating down there. One thing about this playful run of south-southwest swell that was coming in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it had to go through the cheese grater, and that means that there's a bunch of islands in there, and so anytime that swell has to go through that set of islands, it's going to be less consistent. It's going to take away some of the energy, and so that's kind of what we've seen. There is some sets there. You just got to be able to pick one of those heats. It's got those waves, right? And you can't really pick them. You just got to surf what you got in front of you. But ultimately, we're going to have the same kind of pattern we've had lately, right? It's going to be 3 to 4 foot. That's kind of Groundhog Day, 3 to 4 foot throughout this whole event. Sometimes it's during your heat, sometimes it's not. And then the winds, we're going to see that southerly flow once again in the mornings. So a little bit lower tide early. Those early heats are going to be a little bit rougher around the edges, but then it improves through the day. And then we get to the end of the day. The end of the day tends to be a rough one. We've seen it the last 2 days. It gets a little bit windier. The tide gets a little higher. So it's a bit rough, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Whatever is put in front of you, you got to make it happen.
I say we've been scoring. I mean, it's a 9-day event. We've gone through now 7 days, but yeah, it's been very similar in the wave height. No gutter once again. We haven't been talking about the Huntington Hop at all, so looking forward to what we see first thing in the morning, which brings us to our top 5 moments here on the 805 Post Show here on Friday. Coming in at number 5 on the list, Reef Hazelwood, 717, 6.4, and a tough heat against Morgan Siblick. Crucial win for Reef moving on.
This was so fun to watch, this matchup. Morgan's been unbelievable throughout the event, so you'd have to say Reef was the underdog coming into this one. And he just put on such a performance. He started early and then built throughout the heat. And under priority, he got this wave from Morgan Siblick.
His support crew is kind of saying that was probably one of the best performances he's had in a heat by way of shutting it down. And we go to number 4 on the list. Ellie Harrison had a solid fight back today, Pete.
He sure did, and you think about that because it was dominated by her competitor early in this heat, and to stay with it, stay involved, and keep fighting, it gets her a win, and it's an important win, right, into the finals day. And, it's finals day. We're going to do quarterfinals, so I guess we can't really call it finals day yet.
Finals weekend.
Okay, finals weekend.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
like
Nice
stretching
turn.
it out.
But ultimately, Ellie did, and she came out of that one winded and very stoked.
Number 3, Maui boy Eli Hanneman takes out CS rank number 2 and Jacob Wilcox today.
This was a huge heat. I mean, Eli came in, he was beaming. He's looking so in form and so engaged, but to take out someone like Jacob, I mean, if Jacob had won this heat, Joe, you know what the scenario is.
He would have qualified officially for the championship tour, so there was a lot in that for Wilcox, and Eli just stuck to his game plan that he worked out with Galley and was able to chip away at these lefts. He's so happy to be in a quarterfinal. He knows how hard it is to compete on this CS tour as Sawyer Lindblad gets the number 2 spot.
Yep, well, this was one of our favorites, I think, throughout the entire panel as far as our analysts are concerned, is this woman here and how she's going to perform at this U.S. Open. So much experience, and she did not disappoint today. She put on a great performance. Didn't look like anything was going to bother her. She surfed well. She went right. She went left. That's one thing I think that she has, is the ability to score big numbers, both going right and left. So watch out for this woman.
Sawyer Lindblad moving on into the quarterfinals and winning the post show. Nolan Raposa buzzer beater takes out Cole Hausman.
This heat was insane. Cole Hausman was running away with this lead. Like, he had it in his back pocket and he was on the PCH. But Nolan, like, for real, like, Nolan had priority. He was sitting there. He was waiting. There was so much time. The pressure was winding down. I think it was like under a minute and he got that wave. Just insane to see him turn it around and have such a clutch performance.
There's Cole congratulating Nolan. I mean, remember, Cole came off back-to-back wins. It took an old friend to change that momentum. And I think when I saw Nolan scream there, I think he said, "This is my comp."
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. It was like he's owning this arena. Surfs out here probably more than anybody. And you want to take that confidence to kind of protect what would really be his true local lineup.
Yeah, and I didn't actually get to mention it and maybe call it out, but I felt like to me that this winner of this heat, whatever it was in that one, was going to take the event. And I actually mentioned it to Olin Nolan, and he's like, "Yeah, I know. That's how it's going to work." And that's the confidence that he's bringing into these next this finals weekend.
Yeah, impressed with his confidence, especially kind of being more of a wild card this season, Rosie.
Yeah, he didn't get to go to Australia. He got a 9th in Bolido, and now he's counting at least a 5th. If your predictions come true, you're rubbing the magic ball there. He could win this event, and I agree with you. Once you have that little breakthrough performance, it can push you all the way.
Thanks so much for the day, you guys. For Pete Mel, Rosie Hodge, I'm Joe Turpel. On behalf of our entire crew here for the World Surf League, thanks so much for watching. We'll leave you with the highlights from today, and we'll see you bright and early for a lot of quarterfinals for the men, the women, and also longboard action coming soon. Take good care. We'll see you soon.
This is the Wallex U.S. Open of Surfing presented by Pacifico. Our Challenger Series men are ready to rip. Here we go. First wave of the day, ridden by Reef Hazelwood. Wow. Sliding his tail around there. Oh. Morgan now flaring up a little bit. Cole Hausman, he chopped that thing up for parts. Here we go. Nolan Raposa looking for a 5.68. Big start there for Noel Rapp. Another massive backside whip. Has he done enough?
Two good friends fighting for the same cause of moving into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you're my friend on land, not in the water.
A runner for Mateus Herdy. Throwing the tail high to the sky. Solid frontside air reverse, and he likes it.
Deep bottom turn into the backside whip reverse for Eli Hanneman.
Johnson and a classic forehand air reverse. George Pittar, this guy has been so fun to watch this week. Kanoa Igarashi, the 2-time U.S. Open champ. Backside air reverse for the local boy.
The women are on the water. Winner of this round of 16 moves on into the quarterfinals.
Sawyer Lindblad on her backhand, up and riding, Chris.
Easily the standout from yesterday, Sawyer Lindblad. This is India Robinson representing Australia. Comes around that section. Nice opening slash there. Good section to work with.
Just like a Swiss Army blade through that last turn. That's the best wave of the heat.
That was a gift. That inside section was a straight up gift.
Left setting up for Daniela Rosas. And she get a 4th finish. Well done. Here's Fitzgibbons. Belts it again. A solid connection with the fins out. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed.